Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And in this episode, it's now time to take care of the remaining loose ends and start making preparations for our upcoming journey once we progress to Chapter 4. And I have a whole list of things to do with me, so let's begin by rearranging our inventory a little bit. These two items were provided to us by Brother Paul in the previous episode, and those are the Vigil Stone that allows us access into Watcher's Keep, and the Ritual Scroll that will strengthen the seals keeping the imprisoned one in the dungeon, and we're not going to use it for a long while. We can also put away this dragon slaying equipment as well as this Horn of Valhalla, and I think I'm going to use the Cloak of Protection +2 on Senashira. And as a mage, she doesn't need that type of upgrade all that much, because of course she can protect herself in various ways, but she is still our main character, and also both Jaheira and Animan already have an item of Protection +2, as well as useful cloaks equipped, and I also like the arrangement of items that Kirinai has right now with the Amulet of Protection +1, and we can kind of keep her out of harm's way for the most part, so it should be fine. Also what we need to do is cast that Restoration finally on Edwin, and it's him doing it, because it leaves the caster fatigued, and as a mage, he doesn't really care about that type of thing too much. We also need to send Senashira back down to pick up this Horn of Blasting that I forgot about in the last episode. And now we're going to fetch our Charisma Cloak and make some purchases from Sister Garlena. And she is a very notable merchant. First off, at the bottom of her selection, there are some unique items. The Short Sword of Mask is not that cool, but it is an upgradable item, and I'm going to show the upgrade of it, and we're going to get that later. Although, the item that's needed to upgrade the Short Sword of Mask also serves as an item that's used to upgrade a different sword, Gram, the Sword of Grief, and you have to make a choice there. And I think ultimately I'm going to go with Gram. Not that it really matters for us, but I think I'm going to at least showcase what this upgraded Short Sword of Mask looks like. But anyway, the more important item here is Firetooth +4, which is an excellent crossbow. That can generate its own ammo, but it gives a +6 THAC0 bonus, and it also has fire damage on it. And if you load it with some good ammo, like bolts of lightning, for example, it can do some work, especially if you have a character, dedicated to that type of thing. Like if you have an archer, meaning the ranger kit with Grant Mastery and crossbows, you can just come here early, purchase this weapon, and just watch what this weapon can do when loaded with some nice ammo. And I'm actually going to purchase it already in preparation of Imoen using it, actually. Also another potion case, which is very important, and we're going to get quite a few scrolls from her, but let me just put this here already, and this potion case maybe Kirinai can get and stash some of the thiefy potions in there. Oh yes, now we're going to have some more space, and maybe some more explosive potions, but I think this is fine for now. Anyway, back to Sister Garlena. We're going to basically purchase some scrolls from her that we are going to use just from scrolls that are useful for that purpose. Like we can get these Fire Shields blue, stone skins of course. We're going to get one Ice Storm for learning. These improved invisibility scrolls are going to be nice. Minor globes are not going to be that useful, I think, at this point in the game, but let's get those. And let's give those to certain scroll cases. This is going to go here. This one can go here.
Do not anger me.
Oh, Sister Garlena, do not anger me, because I'm doing you a favor here. Also, like, you might be wondering why I'm not getting, like, Animate Dead scrolls, for example. That could be a useful summon, but those are no good, because scrolls are cast at level 10, caster level, so those would generate just these weak skeleton warriors, and I'm actually going to showcase that right now. We can get some Shadow Doors, why not? And also, some most important stuff, Breach and Pierce Magic we're going to get. Alright, and those are going to go here, this is going to go here, this is going to go here as well. Stone skins for Kirinai. And this one, you know, if we cast it, This is just going to give us that second worst version of a skeleton warrior. You will even see by its look, yeah, that it's just this guy, a weakling. It's still, you know, not that bad. It's still some cannon fodder, but you know, I think we are done now with Sister Garlena.
Certainly.
May Helm watch over you.
Right, thank you, Odrin. And now finally is the time to go back, or not go back, but go inside level 1. And we are going to leave most of the things here untouched, because the general theme of what we're going to be doing here in this episode, and basically before obtaining Imoen, is basically leave as much experience as we can for when we have Imoen with us, because she is going to need every little bit of experience. She's going to be lagging behind in levels behind us, and that's why I'm also going to do a very slight scribing session on Edwin. I thought about it a little bit in between episodes, and we're basically going to leave as many scrolls that he could use but are not really that important for him to have until after we already have Imoen, because I want her to partake in those experience gains as much as possible. And yeah, that's going to be the general theme. So I'm not entirely satisfied in how we're doing this level 1 here, because especially in the playthrough, for consistency reasons, I like to do you know, certain adventures or places from like start to finish, well, as much as possible at least. But here, you know, there is a certain plan behind this, and we are going to pre-buff Sinashira a little bit. She can get some spells here. Unfortunately, she does not have Stone Skin, but there are going to be some enemies to defeat, and we don't have Spirit Armor even. Alright, we can pre-buff Edwin a little bit. Let's give her improved invisibility. She has that spell sequencer that has Stone Skin, but we don't really need to use that on Sinashira here. We're going to haste our guys. And, you know, let's just throw in some minor buffs. Actually, we need Remove Fear. And Sinashira is going to mostly solo this next part. We're going to open the main door. There was also a little description about the different runes on the floor and whatnot. I'm going to open the main door, and yeah, there are some level draining opponents, like these vampiric wraiths. And Sinashira is just going to take care on her own with some backup from our characters that can use ranged weapons. Uh-oh, that's what I was afraid of. I don't want to get level drained and have to expend any more of these restoration scrolls. Sinashira, stay there. Alright, cool. They were not level drained. Alright, that Wandering Horror did cast the Death Fog there. It's dead now, but this Vampiric Wraith isn't. So I'm going to actually... Whoops, let's just do it as we always do. Here I'm... basically from the max zoom, I zoom in 3 times, and that's the general look I like to keep here. But I'm going to stay with Sinashira inside this Death Fog, because I want this Vampiric Wraith to reveal itself, so that we can safely kill it. Alright, cool. So that could have been a little bit more smooth, but it's okay. Let's progress. Inside, we're going to talk like more about all this. This is the inactive gate to the next level that we're going to have to activate later. But what we need here is we need to disarm a trap. This one. And I'm going to leave even the trap and the lock on this chest. There's a dart +3, for example, a returning dart, but we don't really need that. We're going to leave like, as much stuff as we can for when Imoen is with us. And here I'm just going to get this bolt case of plenty. It generates unlimited +1 bolts. It's going to be useful. And I think I'm going to go into this room even. There is an encounter there, which is going to be some experience that I could hold off But there is also a useful summoning item, a book that can summon a flesh golem, and I think I'm going to go in there and get it. And we'll see what type of opponents we get here. There might be trolls with their spirit troll shenanigans, and we don't have any more chaotic commands. But doesn't matter, we'll get through it, although it might not be pretty. And if it's going to be trolls, alright, it's them. I am going to use this this sequencer to renew stone skins and mirror images on Senashira, because she is going to need the protections. Alright, so we have that plus improved invisibility. And they don't see invisibility, so we can actually maybe give them a little bit of a backstab. Hopefully our haste is going to stay for a little bit. There's a spectral troll. I think there are spirit trolls as well, just invisible. So let's do that backstab, and we're going to offer them probably some Aganazar's Scorcher. Alright, 71 damage, pretty nice. Let's finish that troll off with the Aganazar's Scorcher. Oh yeah, there's a spirit troll casting, but we managed to interrupt that cast. Alright, and let's move in with the rest of our guys. We can even hide in shadows again, Kirinai. And what is our priority here? Let's get rid of this spectral troll, I guess. And the spirit troll is here. I would like to get to him. We don't have slow available, nor glitter dust, actually. So we can't do much to debuff these trolls, unfortunately. But we can offer them a little damage, I guess. Oh yeah, here we need to use much better weapons in melee. And you're heading in here for this backstab. Backstab on the spirit troll is not too good. Okay, it went invisible. Who is unconscious? Troll and giant troll. We really need to get this spirit troll on the ground. And the spirit troll is on the ground as well. So let's get Kirinai out of here. And let's move out a little bit with Senashira and just throw in a fireball to finish them off. Alright, cool. And now we are going to just switch to throwing weapons on Kirinai and kind of keep her out of harm's way. Alright. Spectral Troll is still out there for Kirinai blood. Alright, Mr. Spectral Troll, come on. Alright, cool. So this is done. Can get some money from here, yeah, 2,000 gold. We're going to basically loot and explore everything, you know, as you would normally do that a little bit later. But here's the Golem Summoning Book. So we want that, and we also want something from across the hallway here. We unfortunately are going to have to disarm quite a few traps and unlock some locks here. So there's going to be a little bit of experience lost, I guess. Or wasted a little bit, seeing how Imoen is not with us yet, but I want to get these two items here. Alright, there's going to be a quiver of plenty, generating unlimited +1 arrows, and there's another ammo belt, which is going to be useful for us. And I don't know why there is no like bullet case of plenty. It's only in Throne of Baal. I don't know why they made that kind of a difference for the bullets +1.
I'm tired of talking, and I'm tired of this laughable body. I wish to rest now.
Alright, Edwina. So we have this quiver of plenty +1. We're going to be able to sell these arrows. Let's actually put them into this. Oh, okay, no. Don't do that then.
What is it?
I'm going to sort our ammo, I think in between episodes. Just rearrange it so that we have like arrows and darts, for example, in one of them, and then bullets and bolts in the other, or something like that. Alright, anyway. that's all I want to do for now in Watcher's Keep level 1. We're going to be back later with Imoen to properly explore the place and conquer the first level. Alright, and now, since I think we are going to rest, we are going to also rearrange our spells, and we're going to do a mini scribing session with Edwin, just so he can have some nice level 7 spells. So we're going to drink those 2 potions of genius on him. And now his lore is 100, actually, so we also have some unidentified reagents, or like ingredients, to some of those combination items that we can give to Edwin. And you can pause and read the description. This is the pommel jewel for the equalizer, which is a weapon that's not as bad as some people claim, but it's also not that great, especially seeing how late it comes into the game. Then we have this human flesh from Regic's basement, and I don't know why I'm really holding on to it still, but this is a component for a great item. When it's finished, the human flesh is actually a +5 armor that gives you an armor class of 3, +4 to all saving throws, and 20% magic resistance. It's a really great item, but it would have to involve us doing some evil deeds, which we're not going to do. And here I might sell it for like 1 gold to Garlena, I guess. Let the Knights of the Vigil keep that. Here we have the shaft of the wave halberd, which is useful for destroying fire elementals, and that's basically it. Here we have the shaft of the Gessen bow. That's kind of a useful bow because it fires +4 projectiles. And here we have the Golem manual, which only mages can use, and you also need 16 intelligence. And it summons a flesh golem, which is not that tough in a fight at this point in the game, but it still has 100% magic resistance, and for that reason alone, it's a very useful summon. And let Edwin hold on to that for now. We have a lot of these wands. There are some mods that actually introduce a special container for wands. A wand case. Alright, and we're going to have to give this scroll case to Edwin. And here we're only going to, I think, give him 3 spells for now. Because, for example, we could scribe, you know, way more on him, but like I said, we want Imoen to have a share of that experience. Like, even Spell Shield is not going to be that useful. I'm going to just take one of these Fire Shields red so that he can, or, well, she can have something of that nature for now. But we're going to get Project Image, and we're going to give him Mordenkainen's Sword, and that's going to be all the level 7 spells that he needs to know, or she needs to learn. And let's talk a little bit about these spells in a second. Oh, well, Mordenkainen's Sword, of course, we have already seen a lot, but Project Image is an immensely powerful spell that gives a lot more longevity, I guess, to your mages without the need to rest. Basically what the spell does is create a copy of the caster that cannot make physical attacks, which for a mage like Edwin does not matter at all. But it retains all of the spells that the caster had at the time of the cast. So if you plan your moves accordingly and cast this kind of early after resting, this copy has the entire library of spells that the real Edwin has, and you can just use it in an area or in an encounter to use, especially once he's going to have access to like level 8 or level 9 spells. You can have a free like copy. You can double basically your spell arsenal with a character through this Project Image, and just, you know, cast these spells, and once this Project Image is killed or expires, you still have these spells on your original casters, and you can use them again without the need to rest. Although this image is going to disappear whenever the original caster gets damaged, so he has to be in a safe place. And it can also be dispelled by Dispel Magic or Remove Magic, and also by Divination spells. So it's really a good idea, after creating the Project Image, to cast Spell Immunity to Abjuration and to Divination on it. And it's going to last its whole duration, because the one downside of the spell is that it doesn't last for too long, although on higher levels it's not going to be too bad. And the spell immunities are going to last throughout its whole duration. So anyway, this is just an amazing spell. We're going to have at least one of those. Let's have like 2 Mordenkainen swords, and I don't know, maybe one of these power word stuns, just for a little bit of variety. Although of course these 2 spells are way more powerful than power word stun. And also on Senashira, we're going to get rid of that Fire Shield Blue and give her back her secret word, because we might need it soon. And also a very important thing, we are going to actually, now that I know that I'm all over the place, but bear with me here. This spell sequencer that she could create now is not going to be perfect because we only have 2 remove magics. But you know what? Let's just do it. 2 remove magics are better than nothing. And I'm doing this now because we're going to get rid of what else can we get there? Let's just get a slow in there. That's the only spell that really fits. But anyway, we are going to get rid of this spell sequencer and this Kelvin Warding Whip because we are going to start using Limited Wish. We're going to have to progress time anyway before we progress to the next chapter. And this Limited Wish, I want to showcase the capabilities of this spell, especially when it comes to the one-time wishes that it gives. So I think we can even rest here now twice and showcase some of the capabilities of this spell. Now we're going to talk about Limited Wish and also the level 9 spell Wish a little bit more, I think, once we're talking about Wish perhaps. But basically both of these spells are reliant on your wisdom, but Limited Wish has way less randomness because all of the option for the repeatable wishes, it can give you one-time wishes and repeatable wishes, and you're going to see how it works out once we have the dialogue with the Djinni that this spell summons. But anyway, the repeatable wishes, their selection depends on your wisdom, and if you have high wisdom or decently high wisdom, you're always going to get the same options there. Basically, Senashira doesn't even have to drink a potion of insight, because with 13 wisdom, she basically has all of the relevant options available to her. The only option that becomes available at wisdom 16 is the one that allows you to restore some of your spells, but it's only a restoration of 1 spell of levels from 1 to 4. But for all of your spellcasters, so it's still a decent option, but it would only, restore 1 of your spells of level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 on all of your spellcasters. So this can still be useful in certain situations, especially since you can kind of manipulate what spells you want to restore if you really care about some of these spells, because you can just remove, whatever memorized spells that you have used from your selection and just memorize the one you want to restore. So you can even change your spells a little bit on the go with it. But anyway, what I want to show is a couple of these. Well, since this is a completionist playthrough, I am eventually going to showcase all of the one-time wishes, but with some of them I want to wait for Imoen because of experience reasons, like I explained. But some of them we can already start doing now. Basically, a strategy that can be used with this spell. Well, actually, I'm going to wait with that explanation for a second. Alright, so here comes a Djinni that is going to grant us a wish, and these spells are based upon our wisdom, because it's very important how you formulate your wish, because some of them, not all of them, are positive or beneficial options. Especially if you have low wisdom, some of these wishes become differently worded and are bad versions, and then when you have higher wisdom, you get a correctly worded version. For example, if you wish to summon a horde to overrun your enemies, he's just going to summon a horde of rabbits. So it's not going to be useful. But still, for us, we might consider at some points having this one limited wish memorized, because from the repeatable wishes, they are always available, we can heal our whole party for 20 HP and remove all of the different debuffs like diseases, poisons, blindness, deafness, all these kind of debuffs. So this is kind of useful in some situations. And this is actually a detrimental, because it's badly worded, and this wish is actually going to make you lose your spells. This makes casts a minor globe of invulnerability on your whole party, which can be useful in some situations. And the protection from undead makes it so that you get the negative plane protection on all of your party members, which is also useful kind of in a pinch in some situations. But anyway, we actually want to explore the one-time wishes, and these are only useful once in a playthrough. Once you use that kind of a wish, you're not just going to be given the option anymore. So I just want to showcase a couple of these. Here we can go with the wish that we want to be rich, and we get 2,000 gold and some gems. So we're just going to go with that. Also, Sister Garlena, where I'm thinking about it. Here, have this human flesh. Have fun with it. Don't get freaked out. You know, for like role-playing purposes, you could like hide it in your stronghold, stash it somewhere where, you know, it wouldn't get into like evil hands. But we're just going to donate that item to the Knights of the Vigil so that they can keep watch over it. Although, as you will see later, they are not that great of a bunch of people. But this should be fine. Anyway, so this was just an example of a one-time wish, and now let's go with another one. We're going to get through a couple of them, and actually this time I'm going to discuss the different options a little bit.
You shall die.
Oh, I don't think so, Djinni. I'm not going to die just yet. Anyway. We're going to go with the powerful magic item in a second. The wish to be more experienced actually summons enemies that we're going to wait, you know, for Imoen to defeat. This is going to give us another copy of Glasses of Identification, so we're going to get that eventually as well. The adventure, like none I've ever experienced before, is also a pretty cool adventure that you can do early for a certain reward that we already have in our possession because we pickpocketed that boomerang dagger from Captain Dennis, and the adventure actually leads kind of to him, and as a reward you can eventually get that boomerang dagger from him. We already have it, and it also grants some personalized experience, so again we're going to wait for Imoen for that. And then there are some powerful spells. Some of these options, I think, where is it? The anything I desire. Basically, there's a couple of level 9 spells that you can use one time. So this is going to give you access to the level 9 spell Shape Change. The all enemies will die it gives you access to level 9 Wail of the Banshee. The Prepared for Anything option is one-time chain contingency use. And I think if we have more wisdom, we can also get a time stop out of it. Because I don't think... yeah, it's not in our list of options. Or I'm trying to do all of these things kind of fast, so if I miss something obvious, you know, have to forgive me. But anyway, let's go with the powerful magical item, and this is going to give us a full plate +2. So there is a certain strategy of like using this limited wish scroll that you can buy from the Adventurer Mart, and sometimes you can just use it from a scroll early on in the game and like go with this one, for example, to get this full plate mail +2, which at the very beginning of the game is a powerful item that you can use on someone like Jaheira, for example, or someone. And it also doesn't sell. It sells for, well, it doesn't sell well, I should say. It sells for 30 gold. So this is not really going to be useful to us, especially now at this point in the game. But you know, just showcasing all of the options. So actually, you know what? Take that for 30 gold. And now the next thing that we're going to do is actually go back to Athkatla, because we have some business to take care of in Athkatla. And we are going to go to the slums first. And what time is it?
It will be done.
It's 2 p.m. Because I want to have Jan in my party for a little bit, and I also will like to do some stuff during the nighttime.
Certainly.
Anyway, this is a pretty funny conversation when you re-recruit Jan.
Without doubt.
Well, by Aunt Petunia's beard, a ghost from my past? Looking to buy some turnips, perhaps?
No, we want to have him in our party. Adventuring, eh? I don't know. I'm making close to 6 gold per week in this exciting field of black market veggies. What would people say? I like this option. If it makes you happy, you can tell your friends that I've pressured you into joining. So this is pretty funny. Anyway, we want Jan for a couple of reasons. There's a decently cool conversation that I want to showcase during the night time that he has with a certain fellow. And also, we want him because we want his armor for use any item purposes. So, because of you know, what we have done for Jan, he is so grateful. We have bought some turnips from him as well, and he is going to present us with one of his inventions, this Janssen adventure wear, which is of course very stylish and whatnot. But of course we care the most about this really cool 25% physical damage resistance, and Karenai is going to, you know, take a while to figure out how to use it, how to like modify it so it can fit her. And you know, once she gets use any item, she's going to be able to use it in certain situations. Maybe not all the time, but at least for certain encounters, that's going to be really, really useful for her. And the techno gloves we don't really need, and his goggles, yeah, we don't really need that as well. And he also has this unique flasher launcher, but of course it doesn't matter. All right, so. Yes. Here we have that. And speaking about different unique items from NPCs to use with use any item, there are also some other ones that people like. Some people like to take Valigar's armor because it gives you some resistances and that immunity to charm, and it's a pretty cool armor class like chainmail, but it's not that special. I value Janssen's adventure wear way more. A cool item that's unfortunately is not available for those purposes would be Nalia's ring, but this ring, if you remember, cannot be de-equipped from her finger, so it's not usable in that way. Rasad's boots from the enhanced edition, they give you 2 armor class, so they could be of a little bit of a use, but I'm not going to bother with that. Then Herr Delis has his swords, which are not relevant really even now, let alone way later when she finally gets access to use any item. And the other item, the only other item that I'm going to take, one of these from the category of these personal, like NPC specific items, is going to be Mazzy's sword. For all of our help that we have provided Mazzy is going to, you know, as a gift, donate her Sword of Arvarine to us, because that sword grants an immunity to stun, and that's a super rarity when it comes to items that grant you immunity to stun, and it can be used in an offhand for Karenai, maybe in some situations. We'll see. It's probably, we're not going to use that all that much, but you know, perhaps it can be just left as an option if she gets dispelled, like her chaotic commands get dispelled or something and she needs to be protected against stun. She will be able to use that Sword of Arvarine. And I think before we rest and before we progress with all of the rest of these loose ends that I want to take care of before our departure to somewhere in the next chapter, I think this is going to be it for this episode. I'm going to stop here in the Copper Coronet. So I thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.